So Matt, we're just going to go right into it. You served our country,
I
and thank
did.
you for that.
Thanks. It was
And
amazing time for me.
yeah,
I define that as being the best. If you're going to join the military, the time that I was there was the single best 4 years you could ever spend in the military. So much in the history of the world took place right then. So joining the military was quite fun because what I ended up doing is I told you I was in the home improvement field and I was all this high end toilet sales and doing all that stuff.
that's what we have in common. I just want
That's
to clarify
yes,
to
that
the
is what
viewers,
we have in
I
common.
did not serve our country, although my father-in-law did serve 20 years in the Air Force, as
Yeah,
you served in the Air Force.
yeah,
Except my father-in-law was a drill sergeant turned
right.
born again Christian and was an
Yeah.
amazing man. Sadly, he passed this earlier this year, but
And again, my condolences for that.
yeah, thank
Yeah,
you, thank you. But we did both work at a hardware store
yeah.
selling bathroom fixtures.
My longtime girlfriend broke my heart. So I'm like, I'm done. I'm leaving. So the easiest way to leave, for whatever reason, I walked into a recruiter's office and basically talked to the Navy because I love airplanes. So airplanes, that's a fun fact. Airplanes are like, I made models as kids. I was every airplane known to man. I love them, all of them. And anyway, I walked into the Navy, talked to them, and I gave them three prerequisites that I wanted. And they're like, what are the three? And I said, I want to be by airplanes. For the Navy, I said I wanted to be on the USS Enterprise carrier craft, only because I'm a Star Trek nerd and I wanted to be on the Enterprise to say I served on the Enterprise. So there you go. And I want to leave within a couple of weeks to go to boot camp. Those were my prerequisites to the Navy. He couldn't promise me any of those, so I didn't join the Navy. So then I just walked down the hall to the Air Force guy. I walked into the Air Force guy office and I'm like, all right, here's my requisites. I want to be working on aircraft. I want to be on computer systems because computers were big back then, or just getting into things back then. And I want to go overseas. I want to be overseas and I want to leave within a couple of weeks. And the guy goes, let me get back to you. And that was on a Thursday. On a Friday, he calls me back and he goes, all right, you're going to be stationed in Germany. You're going to be a weapon system specialist on the flight line on aircraft, and you can leave on Monday. And I'm like, done. Sign the papers right then. And on Monday, I was at my MEP station and I got to serve 2 years in Germany and got to understand the time of year. That was 1988 and 88 and 89. What happened in 88 and 89? Two major events took place in 88 and 89. Berlin Wall came down and 100-year anniversary of the Eiffel Tower. So fun fact for me, I was there at the Berlin Wall with knocking it down with all the other people. Got to saw Pink Floyd sing The Wall on the wall while we knocked it down. And I got to be in East Germany before the wall and East Germany after the wall. So it was amazing time of year, time of the world history. And then if that wasn't enough, it was like the following year, I think the 100-year anniversary of the Eiffel Tower. So I got to be underneath the Eiffel Tower with a big 100 on it and do all sorts of things at the Eiffel Tower. It was just, like I said, it was an amazing time.
That's
And
incredible. Yeah.
yeah, and then the next 2 years were Desert Shield and Desert Storm. So I ended up participating in both of those too. So it was not a boring time in service. Let's put it this way. There were all sorts of things happening at that time. So it was
That's
amazing. I lived through history and it was just fantastic. I loved every minute of it.
that's amazing. And then how did you get into real estate?
So because I was in the home improvement sector, then I was in the military. My mom actually was a realtor. She was a title officer. Then I became a realtor. Been doing that for now nearly 33 years.
That's amazing. How was the market? Then let's back up for a second. You're in San Jose, correct?
San Jose, California.
Born and
Silicon
raised.
Valley, the heart.
I wonder, how is the traffic in Silicon Valley?
Crazy busy. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
right?
in my office from my house is 10 minutes away. I don't have to go on freeways, thank goodness, but I'm 7 miles and it's a 17-minute drive and I'm 7 miles away. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of traffic here. So,
Yeah.
and everybody is like fast paced. Nobody can relax here. So
It's good. The
really
New York
neat.
lifestyle over in the California coast there.
Have headquarters of Facebook, Tesla's right down the street, Facebook's down the street, eBay's down the street, X is down the street, or Twitter. Netflix is a couple miles away. Yeah,
Wow, what a
yeah,
time.
almost all the high end corporations that probably all of y'all deal with every day.
Well, let's talk briefly about what you do enjoy when you do get away. I saw pictures of you kayaking.
Yeah.
You have a couple of dogs, I believe.
Oh yeah.
What are you passionate about? What do you enjoy?
I love walking my dogs. So there's a trail not too far from my house. So we walk about my 2 dogs. I have a German Shepherd and so German Shepherd's Dakota. And then Brody is my Border Collie Coonhound mix dog, which it's a funny mix, but I love him to death. So we walk about 4 miles a day, every day together. We do it in the morning.
Really?
Every day. Yeah. And I love the morning because we walk at a very specific time, about 7 o'clock, 6:30 or 6:45, 7 o'clock, because for me, that's my meditation time. I don't listen to anything. It's just my dogs and I, and we walk the trail, and I just think about what's going on. A lot of gratitude, a lot of gratefulness for what's in life. And I pay attention to all the birds and all of that. I love bird watching, or at least looking at them. So
Love that.
yeah, so that's my time. And then one fun fact, while walking the trail, it's funny because we're in Silicon Valley, everybody headphones, everybody is focused. Nobody thinks about outside their little bubbles, and it's all focused. So when I started doing this a few years ago, I made a conscious decision to smile and say hi to every single person I walk past on the trail. And when I first started doing this, people are like, they look at me really weird.
They're walking around you.
Yeah. And I have 2 big dogs. So that part was pretty common, but you could say, hey, good morning. And you'd smile, right? And they'd be like, head down, walk away. Today, a few years later, I know maybe 20 or 30 people's names who've now introduced themselves to me as I walk down the trail. And it's fun. Now, all of a sudden, you're seeing these people open up and they smile.
That's awesome. That's such a great story.
Yeah. So I love walking. I am passionate about my family. So I've been married. Next year will be our 30th wedding anniversary. I have 4 kids. Love them all to death. 2 live in Colorado. My oldest daughter is married, lives in Colorado. My son moved to Colorado a few months ago. I have another daughter. She's a manager at Starbucks here. And then my youngest daughter is a D1 college swimmer and swims for San Diego State. We spend a lot of time over the last few years traveling to all her meets. As a matter of fact, we'll be in Iowa next week for her conference swim. So that's why I can't be in the retreat. It's too many things stacked.
Yeah. And yesterday was your birthday too.
Yesterday was my birthday. I turned 59.
So let me ask you, like, busy community, San Jose, center of technology, really, like in the world, really, right? At least one of the epicenters. And then you mentioned community, family. How do you get your business? Like, how do you get your business?
I love breakfast open houses with the neighborhoods. So
Tell me a little bit more about that.
So whenever I get a listing in a neighborhood, falls in line with Compass private exclusives and coming soons. So the week before I bring any listing to the market, we'll bring the house to a coming soon. We'll put a sign out, and then we hand out about 500 flyers to all the surrounding homes in that. And we do a neighborhood only breakfast where I'll have donuts, coffee, and bagels all at the house. And I invite all the neighbors and their friends and everybody. And they come to preview the house before anybody else previews it. We started doing that this year. And to be honest, in my farm area, it's become almost it's expected. And we have 30, 40, 50 people come every single time.
That's
and they all
amazing.
start talking about the house. It's amazing. I love it.
I've
And
heard of inviting neighbors over to the open house. Never heard of a breakfast open house. So thank you for that.
yes, this is my idea. I thought I started doing it late last year, and then we carried it through this year. And I took my farm from only having 1 or 2 listings in the farm to now having over 10 or 15, 10 listings this year in the farm. So I completely obliterated most of my competition inside my farm area.
Wow.
Uh, there are still some spinoffs, but I have this kind of a my friends call it a cult following, because every time I do it, you'll see a similar people all show up saying, "Yeah, we're here for breakfast," and but that generates buzz. So I don't mind. What, 2 dozen bagels is like $40, and donuts are another 20. And be honest, I get really good deals on coffee because my daughter's a Starbucks manager. So
Oh,
I got to work it.
yeah.
As a matter of fact, how I pitch it is because in your very first open house, what are the highest likelihood of people coming by in your very first open house? Neighbors. So why don't we just eliminate the neighbors in the beginning and they get their own private thing? And then who do we get on the second open house, which is the one where we hit MLS? We only get buyers. We don't, with the neighbors have already seen it. So they don't care anymore.
Love that. Get them out of the way.
So in my mind, I'm taking out all the neighbors. I'm feeding them. So they're already creating buzz. Then I don't have to deal with them in the main open.
Wow.
I get to deal with only the buyers that are in looking.
Yeah.
So that's that. If you looked at Robert's 3-phase marketing plan, which I love, by the way,
Oh, yeah.
that's our phase 2 portion of it. So yes,
Love that.
that's how I describe it.
Yeah, no, private exclusive is definitely, I'm a fan. I use private exclusive in conjunction with a concierge. And
100%. That's how we function around the concierge programs. Mainly is that phase 1 concierge. We list the house and then we can start our concierge projects. It's different in every state. So the concierge program, like for us, it's $750. I call it an application fee. So
okay.
that's my term for it. It makes more sense than we charge you a fee of $750.
Yeah. You got to
our
spend that.
application fee. So
Like that. Like that.
so
Yeah.
you can initiate the program. And then we'll give you, ours is 50,000. So we give you up to $50,000.
Because you're in California.
Yeah.
For the viewers. Yep.
Yeah. So that's why I said everywhere is different. But one thing I noticed with concierge, which I found very interesting, is it's not where the house is as to what the fee judges. It's not the house. It's where the person lives. If you live, the most recent one I did was the lady lived in Washington, for instance, but the house was in San Jose. So when we did the concierge on the house, she was charged what the fees are in Washington, not what it is in California. I found that fascinating. I had no idea. Nobody talks about that. For instance, Washington's even cheaper. It's $250 application fee in Washington versus $750. But it
But
still has,
the fee gets wrapped in the closing, correct?
yeah. But it's still charged there. But yes,
Right.
it's wrapped in.
But technically you can still say no upfront costs.
Oh, you can say no upfront costs. Yeah, absolutely. We do use that all the time. We just can't use the word no fees. So I say no upfront costs and a small
Right.
application fee. So that's how I push that.
Yeah. And so can you tell us a little bit more about maybe the concierge success story and then how you pitch concierge? Can we talk a little bit about concierge?
Yeah. So for me, that's an added on service because we live in a very high net worth area. Even it may sound lame, but even $750 are like, why do I need to pay $750 when I can just do it myself? So we have a lot of that here. And even though our house,
Yeah, and I hear that a lot, Matt.
yeah,
I'm curious because certain realtors, depending on who I talk to, even in high net worth areas, tell me they use it a lot.
oh, I
And
do. Yeah. I've done.
so how do you pitch it to someone who says, I don't need the money?
Got you. Yeah. I've done probably 30 or 40 of these concerts.
Wow.
Um,
I'm talking to the right guy.
They range from, my lowest was $5,000 to, and then the highest one I've ever done, this is before they put restrictions on us, was 120,000. But the Concierge Classic, which is what they call it here, how I pitch it as a one, as an, so when in a high net worth person who says, I have all the money and I'm good, the way the way I pitch it to them is, that's fine that you could finance it yourself, but then you have to pool all of these bills together. You have all of these many things that you have to add and then add to your closing statement. So when you do your taxes at the end of the transaction of the following year, you're going to have to pool all these receipts together and add them all up. I said, I can resolve that issue quite easily. Going through the Compass Concierge program, what you end up with is a singular receipt with everything listed out. Everything is there. Everything is on one sheet. You don't have to go hunt it down. It's all right there. It's all a singular line item on your closing statement. There's no purpose for you to do anything. It streamlines everything and makes your job so much easier in the end. Your taxes are easier. Your accountant will love it. Everybody will love that. Yes, there's an application fee, but the convenience of that, having everything in one spot, is a bigger benefit to you than anything else.
This is golden. The fact that you just articulated right there. I don't think a lot of realtors or companies see it that way. So this is really invaluable.
Yeah. Well, so I do a lot of trust sales as well. So this is where Concierge shines, because I have a lot of people who, executors of trust, they don't do a lot. They don't know what to do, really. That secondary aspect of it, that's the first line. I'm able to put all the bills, but then the second line is how we have a list of contractors that know us, that have worked with us for years and years. And when I call, they are on it because they know this work has to be done like right now. So I can organize, put these people together, and we can get your house ready for sale in just a few weeks. We don't need to wait months and months. So I have people online ready to go for your house at any point in time. And I've had people tell me, they said, that's impossible. There's no way. Like a prep, the four basics of any preparation is paint, flooring, staging, and landscaping. Those are my four basics. If we can accomplish those four basics, then your value of your house will immediately do 2-to-1 on whatever we spend. If we're at 50,000, I do those four basics, you're at least going to get 2-to-1 on that. So 100,000 extra is part of my pitch. People can relate to that, but they don't necessarily believe I can do it in 2 weeks. So when I start coordinating people, and I have a partner and we have our people, and we start calling, our guys are there within a day, and we've got bills associated within a couple of days. And then as long as they're in agreement with everything, because we do always pitch that we're team members. I tell them that. I said, you as the seller are on my team. We are team together. So by doing that, you agree with the bills, you agree with the cost. If you don't like the cost, that's fine. We'll get somebody else. But once we're all in agreement, we'll initiate the plan. It's all set up through the concierge. You have your card, and you use ACH transfers and things like that in order to move money back and forth. And it's just like your own personal checking account. And then you manage it, but we'll supply you all the bills and get you everything going. All you do is submit it to concierge and get it rolled. And yes, and almost every time, 9 times out of 10, we'll have their house done in 3 weeks in maximum timeline.
That is powerful, Matt. I was not expecting that. That's so great. That's a fantastic golden share, really.
Yeah.
And it's so cool that we're doing this. I'm just really grateful for this opportunity, because we see the interactions on Workplace,
Yeah.
right? And you're infamous. I think it was about 100. I don't know. Maybe I'm making that up. Somewhere between 50 and 100 comments. You had shared a lawn sign, concierge progress, something that to that effect.
Yeah.
You have it? Can you share it?
Yeah.
You-
Yeah. This is my
Yeah.
So
You were
that's
like,
a QR code on there. And
yeah,
there's my logo at the top. And
that's sharp.
yes.
That's sharp.
And so then the logo I shared, I put a sold sign on top of that. So when the house is listed, we pull the concierge sign away and then we have all this stuff. But when I sell it, I put the concierge sign back out and then I put a sold sign, like a key sold sign on top of it. And
Wow.
so, and then when everybody asks me about that, I call it concierge is the key to your success. So yes, that's that.
Ooh, I'm writing that one down.
There you go.
Actually, not recording it, so I don't have
You
to.
don't have to.
This is so cool. This is so great. Love that. I think the only question we got about that sign was, will that prompt the town to check for permits? Did you ever run into that?
Yeah, I'm not tearing down houses to rebuild it. I did. There was one that we did. I told you earlier, it was 120,000, but there were all sorts of permits involved in that. That took us nearly 7 months to do. I'm not a
Yeah.
big fan of that. I'm more of a fan in lineman of those four basics, adding inspections in there because we do pre-sale inspections here in California. I like,
Heard about that.
yeah, we do everything.
I would love if they did that in New Jersey. That would be amazing because it would simplify things.
Oh,
And also,
it's so simple. It's what, or for us, it's three basic inspections, right? It's property inspection, termite inspection, and roof inspection. These are our three basic inspections that we do on every house. For part of the concierge is they pay for that. That's for us. Those three inspections cost $1,200. That's what they cost. We'll have all the inspections lined up and done. If there was something major, specifically like foundation, because we have a lot of foundation issues, then I can incorporate that another inspection for foundation and get that cost worked into, because that's a sale killer here, a foundation issue. Any type of crack in a foundation is a sale killer. So I always then initiate a foundation inspection and then we start to initiate the repairs for that, which is always something that we run through concierge.
did you say that was through concierge? Forgive me. Did you,
Yeah,
if they took the concierge, you're saying, hey, you don't have to come out of pocket for these inspections. Use the
absolutely.
concierge.
Yeah. Concierge is amazing. It's not just repairs.
Yeah.
So one of my,
You mean concierge is not just improvements.
yeah, not
It
improve.
helps
Yeah. Not,
with repairs in advance so that you don't have home inspection surprises. Matt, one of my sayings is, what's the number one deal killer in real estate? Home inspection surprises.
yeah. Yes. 100%. We don't have a lot of those here because almost every home sale we do pre-sale inspections. As a matter of fact, yeah, I very rarely see any house sold here without inspections already pre-done anywhere in my area. And I know we're on here, so that's not a normal thing in the world.
I'm hoping that trend carries over, quite frankly, because it would help a lot.
I don't know what your fee is there, but for us, why would you pull your own money out, then pay interest on that, and then pay all this money against all of those things when you can just simply let us do it all? And then you have that small application fee, but we're managing the whole project for you. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Like, we also put together an Excel spreadsheet of everything so we can track it all. And then we can also give him that. And so he knows where.
Oh, that's really awesome. Someone else told me they did that. Happened to be in California too. I did not think of that.
It also helps, by the way, the Excel spreadsheet helps to manage if the contractors were paid or not. Because one thing I've noticed within the concierge, sometimes the seller will forget and not do their transfers. So we have color coded. So we have green for paid, yellowed for spent but not paid, and red for on order. This is how we track where we're at with the.
Do your contractors accept credit card or debit cards? Because I have contractors that do not. They prefer to have Cash App or Venmo.
Yeah, most of mine do not. So this is why I talked about ACH transfers. So concierge allows for the first one, for us, and again, this is for us here. Concierge allows $5,000 immediate ACH transfer with no questions asked. They will, you apply for it, $5,000 comes out of concierge, goes into the client's bank account. So that's the initial one. Anything after $5,000, they need a receipt for. So My contractors are fully aware that they will give me an invoice. I give the invoice to the seller, then just scan. It's already PDF. They just upload it to Concierge, request the money in advance, and then that money gets transferred from point A to point B. And then from that point, the seller can then do whatever they want from Venmo it, Zelle, whatever they need to do. The money is already there and we already have it allocated for that. That's why the Excel spreadsheet for us is important.
Okay.
Because we can track all of that.
That's a great pro tip. Reassurance.
Yeah. And worst case scenario, I've done this too. It's not ideal, but I have done it, is if the seller's so I've had elderly clients who aren't really like in tune to that. So I have had them, I would front that personally, and then they would just send me a personal check.
So you mentioned something, that you're doing online marketing. Would love to learn more about that, but really curious if you think that we could use the benefits of Concierge to generate new seller conversations. Do you think can you envision a marketing tool or tactic that we're not using to draw in more attention towards Concierge, start fresh conversations with strangers that might be able to benefit from Concierge and may want it? You said trust in the states really.
That is a whole different area. And I believe that is a great area to promote. So
Question is, how do you target those trust in the states and
this is how I do it, because I'm a big trust in estate guy. So first we start with houses that are in trust. And you can pull any list from any title company that you have all of that list. You can also pull it from long-term trusts or short-term trusts, like houses that just went into trust. Houses that just went into trust, there's usually a big life event that took place, death or divorce or whatever what are their 5Ds or something like that. But usually when a house goes into a trust very quickly, a life event has taken place. So we track a lot of these types of things. I get lists from title companies and we will mail then letters to them directly. I don't do postcards per se to that because that does look too more marketing. It looks too generic. That's the word I wanted to use.
Got it.
So if I have a list of 100 trusts in my county that just recently, I will mail a direct letter. We make these, this isn't what do I have? So I put together, this is called a seller's guide. So I put this together to look, it's a trifold.
Oh, wow.
So it looks like this. So it's a trifold. On the back side of this, we have maximize your home's value through Concierge.
Yeah.
So I will, in that same letter, personalized letter, I include a seller's guide with that. And then we mail that out and we handwrite or we don't handwrite the letter, but we handwrite the addresses and stuff.
Personal note perhaps inside or go ahead, I guess.
I hand sign the letter, but it is made up to them, to the owners of, or to the executor of this estate.
Yeah.
We won't always have their names. So we do that. And then we'll send letters out to them. And then with the seller's guide connected to that. So that helps and that explains the whole process. And so that works out well too.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. I am curious, but I don't mean for you to deviate too much. The online leads are working. You're probably the first person I've heard in a while say that.
Oh, I've been a proponent of online lead generation for decades now. So I've been doing this a very long time.
Anything without giving away your trade secrets? Are we talking Zillow or are we talking?
No, I don't like Zillow. So
What
Zillow is a banned group for me. So Google ads, do a lot of Google ads, Facebook ads.
Is there a landing page?
We did. What's the value of your house? Free home seller's guide. Free home equity reviews are great. I love those. So equity reviews are amazing. So I love that. A home equity review. Oh my goodness. Just envision this one. Take a snapshot of their house on Zillow, right? And so the Zillow estimate gives you whatever the estimate is, and then say, "Wow, you paid $350,000 for this. your house is worth $2.2 million. You have $1.8 million in equity. Aren't you guys amazing? Do you want to find out more? That's just it. And that's on the little post, and those are amazing. Home equity reviews are great. I love that. And you use that with your Compass likely to sells. So take those.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great. Take your likely to sells. Do an RPR report. Do you guys have RPR?
Yeah. Yeah.
Take an RPR report. Do the mini report on the RPR.
Yeah. I like the mini one.
It's 20 pages long. And then attach that and send it to your past clients and just say, here's a home equity review. If you're thinking of selling, market is great, here you go. And just send it to them and see what on the likely to sells. And it takes 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You could bang out 10 or 15 of those. And
then I might throw in I got 300 or 400 requests. Did you see this online?
Yes.
There's a green sticker. I wrote a note on it to myself. But maybe slide this in, get them thinking like what they could do to their home. Anyway, but I love that idea.
Or a seller's guide. Because these believe it or not, why are they trifold? They fit in an envelope. Believe it or not, you have that in your marketing center.
Oh, okay.
This just came from marketing center, and then I just customized it to me.
Got it. Okay.
So we have
great stuff in marketing.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying this is a marketing center thing. We have a buyer's guide. We have all sorts of guides in there that
let me clarify what we're doing is we're focused. I have a slight obsession with Concierge. There's so many benefits. So that's where I'm collaborating with a printer. So forgive me. Let me just clarify on that.
No, that's good. I think that's phenomenal. Use your AEMs, by the way, too. They can
absolutely
great. They can come up with some great things to use for all of this stuff. So absolutely.
Yeah. Well, this is so great.
I guess my only issue with some of how we market our concierge is we market a credit card. And that is probably my biggest issue, that I don't think we should market it as a credit card. So give them a card.
All right. Then I'll take the credit card off. It's just I'm not
I understand
showcasing as a credit card, but yeah, I hear you.
So from my experiences, people think that a credit card implies
no doubt
credit pulls implies.
Yeah, people don't want more loans these days. But with the way I position it as smart money, and like you were saying, keeping everything under one sheet.
I'm not even talking that. I just don't like marketing it credit card. That's why I had these signs made. That's why I have, because you take a picture of that or use that and then put that up on your thing.
We already made them, by the way. We made them. They're ready for order. We're going state by state. So we're inputting all the Compass offices, but I think there is the language that you have. And I asked your permission, if you recall, if I could do that. And you said yes. So just full disclosure, but
I'm an open book. It's all good.
I did make a request to at least have one option where it says home refresh, just a little softer. I like that word refresh.
No, refresh is great. I'll probably steal that from you.
Yeah, please take it.
Well, I am like so in love with the 3-phase marketing plan that Robert came out with.
Yeah.
When he talked about that here. He was here for one of our legal updates. And
I saw that.
I was like, oh my God. I took 3 listings within a week of him talking about that. These were sellers who were going to sell in January. And I just simply told him, hey, why not? We could pre-market your house today before we ever come to the market. Let's just put it out there. Let's pick a price, put it out there. It doesn't hurt you in any fashion. Let's do it. Out of those 3 listings, I have 1 under contract and 1 going into contract all before January. So I'm like killing the end of the year. And it was like completely out of the blue. These would all have been waiting until January. And now they're going to be this year pays versus next year pays. You can share what's happening on their house in advance. Like the private exclusive I have has over 300 views. It's not on MLS. 300 views. Not on MLS. You can track that by insights. And I just send them a report saying, hey, check this out. You got another 60 views this week. They're like, what are you doing to advertise? I'm like, this is the power of Compass. It has nothing to do. I'm marketing it in a way on our own private system, explaining where your house is at. And they're amazed. And you can see the numbers just going up on the insights. And then when I hit live, like the phase two version, and then you see bumps every single time. And you don't get one bump, you get 3 bumps. And if it's not sold before that, oh my gosh, the clients can't even, I can't even begin to tell you. I do live in Silicon Valley. Technology and data driven points are all the thing. And so they can actually eyewitness what's happening on their house. And I just send them a weekly report. I've just put it up on private exclusive. But to them, they're like, oh my God, look at what you've done. It's amazing. So
That
yeah,
I love that. It's so amazing.
makes me look
Like,
crazy.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Then
Awesome.
when if they sell off market and they get everything they want or more, I'm closing one of the private exclusives next week. We had I call it aspirational price. They got that plus. So we got like an extra 60,000 on their aspirational price. And they were just without ever going to the market. Now, could I have done better? Maybe. I've told them that. I said, we could possibly do better if we had the open market, but you're going to wait a bunch of months. They're like, we're good. So it's great. I love it. So I love Compass.
Yeah, so do I.